Okay, so first I'll be using my metal pan that I've already spray painted with flat black spray paint. Then I have printed out the Dragon Ball Z picture I'll be using. I do have it printed out on sticker paper. I also have the name I'll be using. It does say Jamal, but since it's in white, you can't see it right now, but you will be able to see it later. You will also need a nice paper cutter. Scissors work well also, but I prefer a paper cutter. A measuring tape. And this little scraper thing, I got mine with my Cricut Joy, and the weeding tool also came with my Cricut Joy. Before I forget, you're going to need transfer tape, and then we're going to get started. So first I'm going to cut out the sticker that I will be using. I use sticker paper just because I felt it would be a little easier versus having to glue down the picture onto the pan. So you will see here I'm just cutting the sticker out, and then I will be placing it exactly where I want it. Make sure you guys are figuring out where you want it before you place it, because since it is a sticker, it's very sticky, and once you put it down, you will not be able to get it back up without having to start over if you mess up. Like I said, scissors can work perfect for this part also. I just prefer a paper cutter because I feel like I get a cleaner line when cutting. So if you are using the sticker paper, like I said, make sure you know exactly where you want to place it first. And then you're going to peel off the backing. In my case, the backing was yellow, so I will be pulling off the yellow backing to my sticker. I find that if you fold the corner sometimes, then it will help you peel the sticker up a little easier. And you just want to make sure that your picture is laid nice and flat. Hopefully you lay it nice and flat where there are no bubbles. If you do get bubbles, you can use your scraping tool to scrape them off. Now I'm going to be placing the name. I'm just cutting the excess paper off before I place it where I want it to go. I already have mine pre-measured, but if you do not, this is where your measuring tape will come in handy. You want to make sure that you size the name correctly for where you want to place it. If you guys would like to see how the font I use for the name and how I printed out and measured it and all of that, leave a comment below and I can make a separate video for that, but I did have everything already measured out for this part. You will need your transfer tape. You will put it over the front of your vinyl. This is where your scraping tool comes in handy. Again, I got mine from Cricut, but they do have at dollar store and at Walmart. Anything that is flat with an edge, pretty much. You just go over it a few times. You can do the front and the back depending how thick it is. You may need to go over it more or not as much. And then you just begin to peel the transfer tape back. Sometimes your words may not come up right away. That's okay. Just lay it back down, gently press over, scrape over the word again. You can also use your nail. And if that still isn't working, I will sometimes use my weeding tool and kind of get the letters lifted up a bit. As I said before, that does say Jamal. This is the customer I am making this for. And once again, you just want to make sure you are placing that exactly where you want it, because once it's down, you will not be able to move it. You will then lightly scrape it. You don't need to do too hard, but just enough to make sure that it is adhering to the pan. And then remove the transfer tape. So this is what it looks like with the picture and the name. Now, after you do that part, you will need to put epoxy over it. I did not have epoxy at the time, so I will be using Mod Podge, which works just as good as epoxy, but epoxy I think comes out a little bit cleaner. I went to grab my gloves. Don't forget your gloves. You can use a mask as well because this smell is very strong. And I also have a little sponge brush you can get from Dollar Tree or Walmart, Amazon. And I do prefer when doing this to use photo paper for your picture, just because it doesn't smear and it doesn't take away from the color. When doing this, I did find some of the purple was smearing a little bit. It still turned out really nice, but just to prevent that, like I said, I would use photo paper. I'm just making sure that I'm going around the edges of the picture before anything, because I want to make sure it is nice and laid down. We don't want any lifting. I decided to pour a little bit, and then this is actually when I noticed the color fading a little bit, but it wasn't bad, so I did continue. I just didn't put the actual Mod Podge on the picture. I started on the side and then smeared it across. And you just want to make sure that you are covering every part of the pan. My camera will cut out here in a minute. It fell off the stand, so it's not showing. I will not be able to show you guys the very end at what it looks like after I put the Mod Podge, but I do have a picture of the finished result that you guys will be able to see here in just a moment. This is the finished result. I did make a whole set with a stash jar and a lighter. They both do have the name. But if you guys have any questions or want to know how I made the whole set, just comment below and I can make that video for you next. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching.